Mr. Chairman, Mr. Park, congratulations on your nomination. Congratulations to your family for being here. None of us get to this point in our careers alone. I appreciate the comments and clarity of my colleague and his position. I do want to give you the opportunity to have the committee understand your expertise, your experience, your qualifications for this nomination. So talk to us a little bit about, you've been the Solicitor General for North Carolina since 2020. You were Deputy Solicitor General for the states from 2017. You've given us a little bit of information. Elaborate a bit on how your current experience has prepared you for the Federal Appellate Court.
Thank you, Senator. So I think there's a reason why I think a lot of the best federal appellate judges in the country have held the role that I hold now, like Judge Sutton in the Sixth Circuit, and Judge Newsom and Grant in the 11th Circuit. Because when you're the state's top appellate lawyer, you're exposed to a wide range of cases, and you get a lot of experience, on your feet experience. And so, as Chair Durbin mentioned, I've argued over 30 cases in the appellate courts, and I've really handled civil cases on pretty much any subject matter that might be out there in the world. And I've also taken it upon myself to gain a substantial amount of criminal experience. So I've handled directly over a dozen criminal appeals, including multiple cases where there was murders in my town of Durham, and I successfully preserved those convictions on appeal. And again, in multiple cases where a police officer was a victim of a murder or attempted murder, and our Court of Appeals vacated that conviction, and I took it upon myself to take the cases over, try to convince the North Carolina Supreme Court to take the case and reverse the order to reinstate those convictions. And that includes the Oldroyd matter that some of the groups have mentioned in their letters, where Sergeant Gregory Martin, who was a Jonesville police officer, was murdered in an ambush attack and shot in the head multiple times. It was a very tragic incident. And through our work, we were able to ensure that the persons responsible for that their convictions were upheld.
And so you have secured a number of letters. There's been a number of letters of support submitted to the committee, validating your legal experience, your acumen, impartiality, commitment as a colleague. Let's talk a little bit about the position that you are seeking. This is a position that has immense caseload and lots of different subject matters coming before it. Talk to me about how you would, or what you would see as one of your biggest challenges facing you in transitioning to the federal bench, and what would be your plan to address that challenge.
Thank you, Senator. I think the biggest transition issue with anyone who ascends to the bench is changing your mindset from that of an advocate to a neutral arbiter. And I think I have a lot of experience in trying to do that from clerking, as well as a big part of the role of a state solicitor general or solicitor general of the United States is to evaluate appeals and try to take an objective perspective and try to understand whether the state's going to prevail on the appeal, what are the considerations the court's going to have when they evaluate the appeal as a neutral. And so I feel well prepared to make that adjustment and to put aside my advocate's hat and approach cases as objective, fair arbiter applying the law.
And then one last question, just to get back to the video that was played. There were a number of instances where it was sort of shown that you were making comments. Not sure what the question or context was, but you were making some comments in reference to what your role was in service to your employer. I'd like to give you the opportunity. You addressed it a bit, but if there's more context to some of the responses that you were giving, particularly around the comment that you were making relative to reproductive freedom for women and families in North Carolina.
Thank you, Senator. I mean, from my perspective, those kinds of decisions are decisions that are made and should be made by the elected policymakers. My understanding of, my recollection of those comments were that they were kind of prefatory explanations for why, as Solicitor General, I don't make those decisions. Those are decisions made by the elected officials.
Senator Kennedy.